Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. Hope you're all well. Back with a very quick, concise update on construction progress in and around Riviera Station, also known as the Resorts World Connector. This project's getting interesting, has gone off in a direction I didn't expect it to, and it looks like we're going to see some extra work completed before the Christmas break. So here is the December update. I'm going to try and keep this as short as I possibly can. Here we go. Okay, so as you remember from the last update, we had this wonderful picture here of our secant piles just about to go in. That's on our left hand side over here. As you can see on our right, we have our finished excavation, including our props here, and what looks like the beginning of a ring beam, although they didn't end up using it or finishing the ring beam, which was a very interesting development because this is not how I would have done it. I really would not have propped one side of the excavation and then left the other side of the excavation, where you have working excavators, unsupported, which is very fascinating. Maybe there is something going on this other side that we can't see. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There wasn't any issues in terms of anything collapsing. So all good. So as you can see, proof work is in our excavation here. The shield is exposed. These props, as far as I'm aware, remained unused. I would have anticipated that there would have been maybe one, maybe two on this side. But hey, it didn't happen. Who cares? Okay, so proof work version 2, or 2.1 as I like to call it, was removed from this excavation and is in the process of being renovated or rebuilt for the next project, which, fascinating, is not going to be the completion of the loop. It potentially might be another casino being linked up to the convention center. So all in all, I like how this went down. It was very quick. I expected this to be a launch pit. Everything was pointing towards that. However, I'm not too sure now, but it does potentially open the opportunity for it becoming a launch pit in the future. What has happened since then? So here you can see is our open excavation. This is, I believe, after the TBM was removed. You can just see the back end there. I don't know if that's a concrete segment or the back end of the machine. I think it's the back end of the machine, which was later removed. Something weird has happened. They have backfilled the excavation and then covered it up. It's all happened very, very quickly over a period of a few days. I don't have any images of that, but that all happened fairly quickly. It looks like it is accessible in the future for potentially going in there with proof work, but who knows? Maybe this might be the final kind of surface finish, and they just leave this as is. Who knows? But that would be an incredible waste, and then the question would be, where would they have the launch pit if they're not going to put it here? But hey, so this area here is this area here, basically. Okay, so what has then happened? Well, surprisingly, they have then started new construction work at Riviera Station, and it looks like they're building the node for the connection up to Westgate Hotel and Casino. This will act as an area where they can turn around vehicles, where they can reroute vehicles up to the Westgate Hotel, where they can reroute vehicles down from Resorts World down to the West Station. So I'll show you the plans in a moment, because finally we actually have some decent plans for what they're doing, and that really does help me a lot, because I just don't work without plans. When it comes to construction jobs, I've always had plans in hand, plans on PDF, things to kind of guide me as I go along. And working without plans, trying to essentially guesstimate what's going on, is a lot harder than you would think it would be. But we've basically gone again for our kind of soldier pile solution. I don't think I've got it on this picture, but there is an auger that's going around creating these openings. Soldier piles go in, concrete then goes in to show them up. They're propped up, leveled, and then they're essentially cropped as and when needed. So they cut them down to size, and then they just basically begin the excavation process in the various levels. Lagging is installed as and when required. And I presume those excavators from over here will be brought over here to begin the excavation process. This excavation will be at least 20 foot deep, if not maybe quite a bit more than that. I'll explain why. So this is where the original, just to give you some context, this is in the location where where Proof was launched prior to getting here. So if this is the reception shaft, then the launch pit is somewhere over here, I believe. The original launch pit. So it's in that area. In fact, I can show you the launch pit. If you look at these plans, it wasn't. It was here. Sorry, the launch pit was here. That here for phase 1A, when they so they launched the machine and that went to Resorts World from this location. They then launched a machine and that went to the West Station. It went to West Station. So what's going on here basically? So this is like a node, and the idea of this node, we're going to see this a lot more in the Las Vegas major kind of loop system, the 34-mile plus system. It's going to be a lot more than that long term, but let's just say 34 miles for now. So all this area here in grey, hopefully you can see that reasonably well, is going to be like subgrade, below ground, and that provides us with access up to Resorts World, which is perfect because we don't need to come up to the surface. Because I've always thought to myself, isn't it stupid that you come up to the surface on a ramp and then go down on a ramp, and it's just an unnecessary inconvenience to passengers when they have to come up to the surface and then go back down. It just feels uncomfortable, and it doesn't really work too well in terms of the speed of the vehicles. So all this is going to be in that area where we see those soldier piles. They'll drop the lagging in, then they'll begin the excavation process. As they work their way down, they'll add more lagging, and then you'll see the steel ring beam installed, and then the props, maybe anchors, I doubt it though, but probably props, and then they will begin casting the concrete for this excavation here, this node. At some point they will then launch a machine. I don't know if they will launch it from here or if they'll launch it in this area here, but potentially maybe not. Thinking about that now, potentially the machine could come through in this direction. So that is an option as well. Although I have no idea what things look like at the Westgate, if there's any kind of hoarding off areas in that area where there's potentially work's about to start. Who knows? But all we know is that they're creating this opening here in the ground, and then they're going to connect it all up to what they've already built here. And then there will be, if you see this area in blue here, this will be on the surface, and vehicles will come up here, and there'll be parking bays and potentially areas where passengers can disembark and get on. As you can see, here is the Las Vegas Convention Center West Hall. There is an entrance just here, and that is where passengers will make their way into the convention center for the various conferences. Again, I don't know if you can just see that. It's probably better on the next drawing. Worth noting as well that the egress shaft, so that's like an emergency exit shaft. which is very, very close to, I mean, it doesn't really seem to make any sense because it's so close to this ramp, but hey, there might be some very obvious regulatory reason why they've got that there. So there you go. So a lot of good things are happening. I'm pleased to see it. This kind of gives us a further understanding of how they intend to expand this system, because as I've said previously, I made a mistake in assuming these systems were operating in isolation. They are definitely not operating in isolation. All these systems, Las Vegas Convention Center, Loop, the Resorts World connector, and eventually the main kind of Las Vegas system will all integrate into one unit, which makes perfect sense really. It's just that it didn't look like they were going to be suitable for integrating into one another, but now with things like this, potentially that is going to be the case. So this shows us our below ground details from above. So as you can see, there's access here via staircase. You've got a ramp. Let's have a look on here. So you've got a ramp here and you've got a ramp here as well. So that ramp's there, isn't it? Okay. So all this work, all this area bit will be below ground. So potentially you could come down here from the Riviera and you could go up to the surface here, or you could potentially go around here. You guys drive on the right, don't you? So what would that involve? That involve going that way. I can't visualize it, but it might potentially, if you're driving on the right, then that's going to pull you that way, isn't it? So you come off up there, and then you have your above ground station, which I presume will look reasonably similar to the West Station. Okay, so that work's being undertaken. Before I finish, how much do I think all this is going to cost? Should be below $2 million US to do all this work here. If you disregard the tunneling part, if you're just working it out on, you know, how much is it going to cost to remove all this excavated material, how much it's going to cost to pour these concrete retaining walls, you know, presuming they used the precast solution that they have used previously, and then obviously you have concrete kind of planks to sit on top of that, which will then be the finished road deck. I think probably well below $2 million, and then this obviously makes it very safe for vehicles who are coming down here, vehicles that are going up here, and then you can pass each other. And I presume this will be limited to about 10 miles an hour, and then you can all pass each other. And this will be used in the rest of the system in terms of allowing vehicles to pass between different tunnels. Maybe some vehicles will come down to nodes like this and then use this to go back up to another tunnel. There's all kinds of options for having these nodes, and we'll start to see them more and more often. And this design ultimately will be standardized. Just a reminder that these also are popping up as well, these kind of utility vaults. I like the term vaults. Ultimately all our M&E and fire suppression systems will be in these areas, and potentially again this could be prefabricated. It might just be a drop-in solution. Okay, so all that ventilation as well will be in the top of these tunnel kind of ramps, which are here and here. Perfect. Okay guys, excited to see all this. How long do I foresee this work will take? I'd imagine there's potentially 3 to 4 months worth of work there, getting that excavation all finished out, and then having the essentially the roadway / roundabout installed. You're looking around 3 to 4 months, I reckon, maybe a bit more, who knows. But whether they probably won't connect that up to the West Station. That they will finish that excavation, then they will connect that roundabout, and then they will connect it up to the West Station, and then I imagine at some point early next year we might see a tunnel as well going from the West Station to Resorts World. Okay, hopefully. Also, thanks for the person who supplies me with these photographs. Honestly, without you, I wouldn't know what's going on really. So it opens up a lot of opportunities for discussing this. If you have comments, if you disagree with something I've said, if you think things are going to get done in a different way, please tell me in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please like and subscribe. Please comment on the video. Anything you like. Tell me what you ate for breakfast. I don't care. It helps with the algorithm. Please consider following me on these various platforms, especially Twitter. We need more users on Twitter. I'm going to start posting videos on Twitter as well at some point, probably early next year, maybe end of January, who knows. Patreons, thank you all for supporting me. Really, really do appreciate that. I'm going to be smashing the videos, and thanks to our newest Patreon, Dean 2V, as well, for joining the team. Very much appreciate your support, Dean. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope that you learned something. Hope that you're excited about the progress that's going on at Resorts World. I certainly am. I'm learning things every day, and hopefully that helps me further understand the expansion of this system in Las Vegas, and also any other expansions, whether that be in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Austin, wherever else they intend to expand to in Texas. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video, and remember guys, don't be boring. I will see you on the next one, and have a good day.
You've got to take big chances in order for the potential for a big positive outcome.